Listen up. Your brain isn't wired for happiness. It's wired for survival. Until you understand that, nothing sticks.
This isn't pessimism, it's neuroscience. You have a built-in negativity bias designed to keep you from being eaten.
Our ancestors survived by obsessing over threats. That ancient system worked perfectly until the world changed. Now, that same survival software is running in a world with no tigers, no famines, and no real danger.
Instead, your brain treats emails and social media like predators. It's constantly on high alert for no reason.
The result? You default to stress and dissatisfaction, even when your life is actually pretty great.
Your brain is literally built to ignore the good and hunt for the bad. It's a structural glitch.
But here's the game changer. Your brain isn't a finished product. It's plastic. It can be rewired.
Listen, this changed everything for me. Your brain isn't a finished product. It's not fixed in stone.
It's not permanently wired. Science proves your brain stays physically changeable throughout your entire life. It's always evolving.
You can build new neural pathways and weaken old ones. The technical term for this is neuroplasticity. With consistent habits, you can literally rewire your brain for happiness at a deep structural level. It's real.
I'll show you 3 habits for happiness. These aren't temporary fixes, but deep, lasting changes to your experience.
Most people miss the third habit because it sounds too simple. But trust me, the science is incredibly powerful.
The science will surprise you. Stay with me. Now, here is a fact that should stop you in your tracks.
Scientists studied thousands of people and discovered something shocking. Happiness isn't a trait. It's actually a learnable skill.
Your brain isn't fixed. It stays physically changeable throughout your entire life. This is a scientific fact.
New neural pathways can be built, and old ones weakened. We call this incredible process neuroplasticity.
With the right habits, you can literally rewire your brain for happiness at a deep, structural level.
I'm going to show you 3 specific habits that will transform how your brain processes every single day. These aren't temporary fixes. We're talking about deep, lasting changes to your brain's very form and function.
The third habit is often ignored because it sounds too simple. But don't let that fool you.
The science behind it is genuinely surprising. Stick around, because this one is a total game changer.
Neuroscientists at the University of Wisconsin studied thousands of brains and found something that will stop you cold.
Wisconsin neuroscientists studied thousands of people and found that happiness isn't just a trait you're born with.
It's a skill, a measurable, learnable, trainable skill that shows up as specific patterns of neural activity in your brain.
Happy people showed stronger neural connections in areas for positive emotion, resilience, and present moment awareness.
Unhappy people had weaker connections there. But here's the breakthrough. Those connections can be changed.
When unhappy participants practiced specific mental habits consistently, their brain scans actually began to change.
Happiness circuits literally grew stronger. Their brains physically rewired over time through deliberate practice.
This means your current happiness level isn't a ceiling. It's just your starting point. These 3 habits are the most powerful drivers of that rewiring process. Let's dive in. When unhappy participants practiced specific mental habits consistently, their brain scans began to change. The neural connections for happiness literally grew stronger. Their brains physically rewired over time. This means your current happiness level isn't a ceiling. It's a starting point for something much greater. The 3 habits I'm sharing are the most powerful drivers of this process. What if you aren't stuck with the brain you have right now? What if your daily mood isn't your personality, but just a default setting? And remember, default settings can always be changed. Here's how.
Habit number 1, negativity interruption. This habit directly weakens the neural pathways your brain uses to default to stress and constant worry.
Here's the biology. Every negative thought strengthens its associated pathway. Neuroscientists have a phrase for this. The more you travel a pathway, the more automatic it becomes. Chronic worriers have deeply grooved pathways from years of repeated negative use. Worry becomes the path of least resistance. But negativity interruption works by catching that cycle. The moment it starts, just say, stop. Your happiness level right now isn't a ceiling. It's just a starting point for something much bigger. I'm sharing 3 habits that neuroscience proves are the most powerful drivers for rewiring your entire brain.
What if how you feel isn't your personality, but just a default setting? And settings can be changed.
Here is exactly how we do it. Habit number 1 is called negativity interruption. It's a game changer. This first habit rewires your brain by catching negative thoughts before they take root and grow into stress.
It works by directly weakening the pathways your brain uses to default to worry. We're cutting those ties.
Every time you interrupt a negative cycle, you're physically changing your brain's form. It's pure biology in action.
Habit number 1, negativity interruption. This is your first step to physically rewiring your brain for happiness.
Every time you think a negative thought, you're actually reinforcing that specific circuit in your mind.
Neuroscientists have a notable saying: neurons that fire together, wire together. Repetition is the absolute key. The more you travel a path, the more automatic it becomes. This is why chronic worry feels inescapable. Worry has literally become your brain's path of least resistance. But we can change that starting now. The moment you catch a negative thought cycling, physically say the word "stop" out loud or internally.
Then, immediately redirect. Replace that thought with a neutral observation about your current environment right now.
Worry has become their brain's path of least resistance. It's a deep groove worn in over years of repeated use. Negativity interruption works by doing one thing the moment you catch a negative thought cycling. You physically say, stop. Then, replace that negative thought with a neutral or slightly positive observation about your immediate environment right now. This isn't a forced affirmation or toxic positivity. It's just a simple redirect to the present moment.
The ceiling is white. The air is cool. That coffee smells good. These simple facts ground you instantly.
Neuroscience shows this simple technique measurably weakens negative pathways while strengthening circuits for awareness and positive attention.
You aren't suppressing negativity. You are literally rerouting your brain away from those old, painful patterns.
For the next 24 hours, every time you catch a negative loop, say STOP and name 3 things. This single habit, practiced consistently, is one of the most direct ways to begin rewiring your brain for happiness at a structural level. Now, the next one builds on this in a way that most people completely miss. You'll never think about your attention the same way again. Habit number 2, deliberate savoring. This is based on one of the most important discoveries in modern happiness research.
Your brain processes positive experiences differently from negative ones by default.
Positive experiences, however, are processed more slowly. They require deliberate attention to fully transfer into your long-term memory.
Without that focus, you don't build lasting neural pathways. What this means in practice is actually quite shocking.
Your brain doesn't prioritize good moments like bad ones. They pass through without leaving a trace, rewiring nothing.
Rick Hanson calls this Velcro for negative and Teflon for positive. Good things just slide right off.
Found that holding a positive experience for 20 to 30 seconds starts transferring it into long-term memory.
That short window is the gap between an experience that rewires your brain and one that just vanishes.
Here's your action. When something good happens today, even something tiny, stop and notice it.
Hold it for 30 seconds. Don't rush back to work. Stay with that feeling. Let it land.
Feel it physically. This isn't just indulgence, it's neuroscience. And here is the truly crazy part.
Most people have good moments all day, but their brains barely record any of them. Let's change that. Ready for habit 2? It's called deliberate savoring. This is a total game changer for your brain. Your brain is a bit of a pessimist by default. It treats good and bad news very differently. Negative events are fast-tracked into your memory. It's an ancient survival trick that's working too well. Positive moments are slower. They need your undivided attention to actually stick and build new pathways. Without savoring, your daily wins just slide right off you. It's like water on a duck's back. The fix? Hold that good feeling for 30 seconds. That's the secret sauce for rewiring your mind.
Savoring rebalances everything. It turns your brain from Teflon for good news into Velcro for pure joy.
Finally, habit number 3. It looks simple, but its impact on your brain form is absolutely profound. Habit number 3 is intentional play. Before you think that sounds childish, listen to the science behind it. Dr. Stuart Brown spent decades studying the neuroscience of play across thousands of subjects of all ages.
Play is any activity done for its own enjoyment without specific outcome in mind. It creates a unique state.
During play, multiple brain regions activate simultaneously, including those for creativity, social bonding, and emotional regulation. The brain during play isn't just relaxing. It is actually doing some of its most sophisticated work. Regular play produces measurable changes in brain form over time, specifically strengthening the prefrontal cortex. This region handles emotional regulation, rational decisions, and the ability to experience positive emotions fully. A brain that plays regularly is literally better at being happy. It stays flexible and emotionally healthy. But most adults ditch play in their 20s. When that happens, your brain loses its vital, creative spark. Without play, your emotional strength weakens. The ability to feel spontaneous joy simply starts to fade away. Life begins to feel heavy and rigid. It's not that things are wrong, your brain is just starved for fun. Think back. What did you love as a kid? Find that one thing you did for pure, unadulterated enjoyment. Schedule 30 minutes for that activity this week. Don't try to be perfect, just let yourself play. Save this video. These 3 habits, negativity interruption, savoring, and play, are your roadmap to a much happier brain.
Practice them daily. Rewiring doesn't happen overnight. It happens through consistent repetition and a deliberate, positive focus.
Keep going until these habits become your new default. You truly have the power to change your mind.